Namaste, Galactic family. Welcome back to the channel, guys. Come on into this dimension and let's talk about a chakra that is a little bit more lesser known, but it's a profoundly impactful chakra. This chakra is called the Alta Major. So drop it down in the comments if you have heard of the Alta Major chakra. This is considered the chakra of God, or the mouth of God. This is the Medulla Oblongata. Okay, and this is a very profound chakra. So yeah, you may or may not have heard of this. I'm going to go ahead and do a screen share. We're going to talk a little bit about what I have been seeing with this chakra. So this is really important. This is really fundamental to a lot of what I was talking about in my last energy update, which was the fact that these chakras are activating with global heart chakra expansion. They just are, because the mouth of God chakra, the medulla oblongata, this chakra represents the merger fields of where the point and the connection come together from the body heart to the third eye, ultimately to the crown and to the mind. Okay, so right here at the back of the neck, where the neck touches and meets with the skull, this is a very important merger field, essentially. Okay, and so there's a lot of spiritual significance with this chakra. It is believed to be a divine gateway. It is believed to be connecting individuals to the higher states of consciousness, divine wisdom, and again, those merger fields that bring full enlightenment. These are fields that represent what is called the bridal chamber. Okay, and some people believe that the bridal chamber is down in the heart. I feel that there's a couple different locations of bridal chambers in the body. A bridal chamber it's a chamber, a vibratory chamber that essentially holds all the energetic valuables, spirit valuables, soul valuables, and one's field of consciousness. Okay, so this point here holds the bridal chamber vibratory field. And again, yeah, it's essentially a merger field. So what's happening is, if we think about the diamond architecture and complex and the emerald architecture, flame, vibratory field, frequency, okay, the third eye kind of holds the diamond and the heart holds the emerald. So why that's called a merger field is because right there at the medulla oblongata, the energy merges, okay, and opens, expands, and connects you to the consciousness of God, of the eternal spirit, of the highest divine. Okay, so I want to talk to you about this because something that I've been noticing when I have been doing J-seal removal sessions, that is that I had been seeing seals placed right here at the mouth of God chakra, okay, at the medulla oblongata. And I kept thinking, why is it that I'm seeing these seals here? Why is it that, these fallen Adashis, okay, Anunnaki lines install seals additional in these other places? Okay, and again, I think it's just because of the spiritual significance of this chakra, but essentially it is to, oppress one's connection with God, oppress one within the fields of the merger fields. I think this also has something more profound to do with the central nervous system, as invader energies, entities, DNA modification and manipulation, and the installation of these blocking systems to the divine feminine template in the body, and also carrying crucifixion and martyrdom codes, that those spirits that would be called or attracted in a negative way because of the seals or implants vibratory field, they would be feeding off the central nervous system. Okay, so it's all working in functionality to open up the harvesting fields, essentially in the spirit and the energetic body. Okay, because in that place where the medulla oblongata is, you know, this is where it dances with the vagus nerve. You can see here in the picture, the mouth of God, the medulla oblongata is like, it's like a trinity flame. We have the mouth of God represents a flame. We have the vagus nerve that represents a flame or a connection point. We have the RAS, the reticular activating system, which is to vision, to sight, to be able to see with your actual eyes. With your actual eyes, right? How conveniently would a seal go right there? And this has a lot to do, I think, also with causing problems on the vagus nerve, because this ranges and functions in some of our most powerful systems of the body: the brain, the digestive, the respiratory, the spinal, the endocrine, the central nervous system, the lymphatic system. So placing a seal here would definitely wreak havoc on the overall functionality of the body and the spiritual biofield. And so we must remove seals at this point. We must remove seals right there at the medulla oblongata. And it's so interesting that this information is just coming forward more and more, because I think we're getting more clarity. We're getting more clarity around these things. And so it's a place we definitely have to work on energetically after you have seals removed at that spot. It's important to still do meditation on this chakra, to engage it, to continue to clear it, just as similarly as you would the other chakras. It's a chakra. This is the thing, we don't talk about chakras in the back of our head or the back of our body, right? Because they're like out of sight, out of mind, but they're still doing something deep within the subconscious and even the unconscious. And that's what we're trying to bring forward, is consciousness within this. So yeah, it's important to meditate with the mouth of God, the medulla oblongata chakra. I like calling it the chakra of God better, to be honest with you. I feel the reason for calling it the mouth of God is because it's supposed to actually activate the communication with God more significantly, or your higher self, right? So both, it's one and the same. Again, igniting merger fields, igniting the bridal chamber. I think this also plays a key role in releasing veils of illusion. There's said to be 7 veils over the third eye, and I think this directly plays a part in keeping those veils installed through the third eye. So continued meditation to release the veils of illusion on the third eye. This would be about, really, you could do this by visualizing, you know, diamond emerald light at the base of the skull and opening the gateway up to the divine. Practice expanding your heart with your third eye. And just imagine that that light fills up your being with spiritual wisdom and guidance. I mean, just simple meditation, just to keep that activated. You could also use affirmations. You could also use breath work, which I feel is one of the most impactful ways to keep something clear in the body, energetically speaking. And you can also use crystals and gemstones, crystal induction, to clear this chakra and work with it as well. So this is kind of something that I feel like is really relative to the global current activations, the emerald upgrades. The emerald upgrades will continue to give us clues and keys to specific things we have to do to continue to expand in that upgrade of the heart chakra. So this is one of the heart chakra blockages, believe it or not. What's blocked from your heart to the third eye, to the higher mind, to the higher self, to God consciousness, is right there at the base of the spine. And I think the Water Boy, if you've seen that movie, Water Boy, he talks about the medulla oblongata. I know there's a lot of other references to this and why it's so significant, essentially. But you know, anything that's connecting the brainstem and the spinal cord, and all of those extensions to the respiratory system, to the heart, like, this is going to be one of the most important functioning centers of the body, truly, not just physically, you know, spiritually, emotionally, everything. I think this is also essential to clearing deeper within the universal tree of life. That's what's going to really help expand deeper into those universal tree of life clearings that we had talked about. Also, I just picked up on this psychically just a second ago, but connecting into anything fetal fetal trauma, fetal wound, incarnation wounds, anything upon impact of your development coming into this world, clearing the soul burdens or contracts to any sort of impact in utero or and through that development. This would also be a place to clear any fragmentation in the fetal records, the fetal cells, or the fetal, the umbilical cord, essentially, the astral umbilical cord. So I'll bring more information forward about the medulla oblongata as I get it, but I wanted to touch bases with you guys and just share this information quickly tonight because I had reminded me from the energy update that I just put out that to emphasize the importance of this chakra, to emphasize the importance of needing to remove seals around it and within it, and continue to work on this chakra as well, because it's a very, very important chakra. And I want to say almost to the point that this should be recognized, I feel, in the major chakra system. It's definitely, if anything, connected to a higher chakra, something more 10th through 12th dimensionally. Even though it's located lower in the body, it's still 10th or 12th dimensionally active, bringing in universal consciousness. And therefore, it would also equate to your higher sensory abilities, again, communicating with the central nervous system. So this would be operating all of this, I guess, more unconscious sensing abilities in the body. So that would be considered or perceived a higher sensing ability, so to speak, with and beyond touch, taste, feel, going into the higher psychic senses, essentially. So I think this is a gateway to the higher psychic senses, such as the third eye is as well, right? But I think they're working in harmony, and that these glands, these glandular chakras, should be obviously working together to create perfect harmony and resonance in the body and full potential that you can achieve in terms of your consciousness expansion and ascension capacities and processes. So yes, it's very, very important. I hope this information helped you tonight in some way or another with just looking at this, thinking like, oh my gosh, right? The medulla oblongata. But yeah, drop it in the comments if you have more on this, you guys. I love you all so much, and I hope you're having a good night, and I'll be back soon.